on gamification. All our black belts should be used to gamification because you've been through the 1 Million Teachers Black Belt program, which also uses gamification as you go from your white belt to your yellow belt to your blue belt, red belt, brown belt, gray belt, till you finally become a black belt. The idea was to introduce something similar to martial arts and taekwondo so that you can see the progress you make and you can aim for getting better and improving yourself. How can we also incorporate gamification into our lessons? Education and a master's in education. He's an educator, an author. I will let him introduce himself and tell us a bit more about himself before we start today's session. So, Mr. Najeemdeen, can you hear me? Would you like to start?
Yes, I can hear you, ma. Good afternoon, good day, everyone. My name is Najeemdeen Adebayo Najeemdeen. All right, ma.
Yes, tell us what you do, where did you study before we start the...
Okay. I hold master's degree in mathematics education from University of Ibadan here in Ibadan. I'm based in Ibadan anyway. I'm an author, I'm an editor, I'm a publisher, educational consultant, a publisher, a entrepreneur. That's all I do for a living.
Okay. All right. So I am
you,
sharing your slides. Okay, I will move on to the first slide. We'll have 10 minutes at the end for question and answers. So you can go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma. So because of our time, like the topic of today, we put forward that gamification in an ideal educational setting, a case study of Mekama educational games. To start with, let us quickly run through what a game is. What do we mean by games? A game generally, as many scholars have opined, is an activity or a sport with rules in which people or players or teams compete against each other or one another. So basically, that's a general view. We still have other definitions of our games. So let's stop here because of our time. So let's quickly go to features of games. What are some features of games that we can see that this is actually a game? So actually, we are going to consider about 4 or 5 features of games now in the course of this our lecture. So the first one is game must be engaging. Games must be engaging. Games must be interactive. Games must be competitive. Games must be fun, and games must have some set of rules. Okay? You said what, ma? Am I clear enough? Hello?
Yes.
Oh, all right. So I'm saying that a games must have the following features. for you to acknowledge this activity is a particular game. It must be engaging, it must be interactive, it must be competitive, it must have some elements of fun, it must have a set of rules. That's how you can, I judge that this is a game according to some scholars. Now, because of our time, we are basically considering, because of this lecture, we are considering educational games, learning games. Now, for learning games, we consider these three, apart from the major features, we consider these three features. We have the first one, there must be a defined goal in a game. Your game must be well defined to acknowledge that this is actually a game. So a set of rules must be there as well. Then there must be a way to earn points or reward or system you put in a game design as well. So um that's all about game. Because of time, I'm trying to summarize things. So our slides, our PowerPoint presentation should be for everybody. So maybe at the end of the presentation, we can have some look at the presentation in total. So we are going to consider three types of games here. We have skill practice games, we have role playing, and simulations. So all these things, all these three that I've mentioned are considered as types of games. We have the first one, skill practice games. We have the role playing, we have the simulations. But because in the course of this lecture, I will be focused on skill practice games. Skill practice games, we can as well define these as serious games, educational games, uh, gamification, and many scholars have considered it as majorly educational games. So when we talk of educational games, we consider educational games as games that are designed to help people to learn about certain subjects, expand concept, to expand concept, to reinforce development, and to understand a historical event or culture, or to assist them in learning a skill as they play. So basically, this is what an educational game mean. So they are designed, educational games are designed to help people to learn about certain subjects, expand concept, reinforce development, understand a historical event, and many other things like that. For instance, we have so many educational games we have local games, we have international games. For example, Scrabble. Scrabble is an international game. It's an example of educational game. So we have bingo. Bingo is also an educational game. Sudoku is an educational game. We have many of them like that. We still have other games. We have war games. Like when we are talking about chess, chess is also a game, but it's a war game. We have economic game. When we are talking of Monopoly and many other games like that. So, but for the sake of this lecture presentation, we are limiting ourselves to educational games. So educational games can also be seen as game-based learning. Game-based learning is another name for educational games. Now, so let's move on to another concept, another item on this slide, which is the meaning of gamification and gamification in education. Gamification in education. Gamification itself is a term invented by a computer programmer by name Nick Perlin is the name. He invented the term in the year 2002. The meaning of the concept of gamification was invented by Nick Perlin. He was a computer programmer, an investigative or writer. He invented this in the year 2002. So gamification in totality. Let us see the concept of gamification. We can define gamification as using game-based mechanics, aesthetics, and game thinking to engage people, to motivate action, promote learning, and solve problems. In another context, we can see gamification as an integration of game or gaming elements and game thinking in activities that are not game. So that's the meaning of gamification. Actually, gamification can be used in any activity. It may not be education, it may be in other sector. You can use it in finance, you can use it in sports, you can use it anywhere. So we are limiting this course to this presentation to education, gamification in education. So like I said earlier on, as I defined gamification. Gamification could be seen in another context as the use of gaming elements and processing in non-gaming context. In non-gaming context, gamification in its entirety is not game. It's not game, but what we are trying to do is that we can gamify so many activities, so many things. We can gamify anything whatsoever. It depends on our creativity, on our um our intellect, on our intelligence. So it depends. We can actually gamify many things. So the meaning, when you understand the concept clearly, you should be able to know how to direct your gamification, how to gamify things. For instance, in our day-to-day, okay, let me take social media platform as an instance. You see, I'm using an example. I'm using LinkedIn. LinkedIn gamify a particular section in LinkedIn. It's like when you are uploading or when you are filling in your profile, when you are about to complete your profile, you see a progress bar in LinkedIn. So this is like a gamification. So they have gamified this process in order not to get bored. You know, as you are progressing, you see how things are moving. This is a kind of gamification we are talking about. So in terms of this concept, it is gamified. You will see, you also agree with me that in Google, I mean, yes, Google Chrome, for instance, at a point when you are not having, maybe you are not connected to the internet, you open your Google Chrome, so you now see something that is like a bed that is popping up, moving up and down. You can start playing maneuver using your arrow tools on the keyboard. I mean, on your on your
When the
keyboard on the
internet
phone.
is not working.
Hello.
Hello, yes, I was talking about the Google dinosaur that you see.
That what, ma?
Hello?
Hello.
I was explaining the game on
Oh,
Google. When your
oh, good.
network connectivity is not working, the
Exactly,
dinosaur
exactly. You
jumping
will
up
see.
and down.
Exactly, yes. The bird will just be moving up and down. We are gamifying. I mean, the Google Chrome has gamified that concept that in order not to get bored, that instead of you not doing anything, you will rather be doing that. That's the kind of gamification we are talking. So actually, gamification is everywhere. So as I've said earlier on, we are limiting our own gamification to education because that's our area. So I've defined gamification in this course. So we can have the material. You see many definitions by many experts there. So I want to take another definition here. So according to sorry, according to Dixon, so he said the term gamification refers to the use of game mechanics in I think I've mentioned this, in non-gaming context. So they are all saying the same thing, but they are trying to use the words according to their, according to how it suits them. So it's still the same thing. It's a matter of using games in non-gaming context. So we have seen the gamification now in all areas. So let's quickly move to the importance of gamification and effect of gamification in education. So that's the slide we have now. So we see gamification as things in education, as a term in education that has so many importance, so many effects on the students, on our teaching and learning, especially in the classrooms. So let us take some like three importance according to what I put up here. So we see the gamification to be a replacement trend in several sectors. I think I've mentioned this alongside business, structural management, in-service coaching, health policy, and education. It means that gamification can be used in all these sectors. So gamification is adopted in different contexts and for a variety of purposes. It is used as a driver to promote fundamental things like learning, employee performance, customer engagement, and like that. So in terms of education properly, gamification represents an
Maybe Mr.
innovative.
Najeemdeen, can we sorry,
Okay,
can I
can hear you,
interrupt
ma.
you? Can I
I can
interrupt
hear
you?
you, ma.
Yeah, I would
Yes,
like
go ahead,
our
ma.
teachers to type in the chat some of the games that they use at the moment. If they use any games at all, can they type it in the chat? Can we make this a bit interactive so it's not like a lecture? Can the teachers type in the chat what games they use in the classroom at the moment?
Okay, yes, no problem, ma.
Okay, so
No
let's
problem.
just
Can
give
I
them
answer
5 minutes.
you
5 minutes to
you
type in the chat what games they use to help
oh, good, ma.
children understand. Can we type in the
Fantastic, ma.
chat and we'll read the chat? Let's go to the chat and read. Okay, somebody
All right,
said, somebody said
fantastic, ma.
Kahoots. Yes, we had the session where somebody came to teach us how to play Kahoots, quiz games, Codebu. I use
Quizzing,
quiz, I use word
yes.
puzzles,
Word
Scrabble.
puzzle,
Scrabble
yes,
is very good for
yes.
spelling. Grasshopper, which one is grasshopper? Throwing of dice for probability, math, Ludo. Yes, Ludo is a game. Yes. Okay, thank you for all those that responded. I just wanted to make sure our audience are listening and participating. Thank you.
Good, ma.
Okay,
Good, ma.
you can continue.
All right, ma. Thank you very much, ma. So, as I was saying,
Okay, we have some more Kahoots,
we are
grasshopper.
still on
Yeah,
importance.
okay.
You said what, ma?
Okay, carry on.
All right, ma. Thanks. So
I
we
was
are
just
still on
reading the
effect.
responses in the chat. I was just reading the chat.
Oh, good, ma.
Okay.
I can see grasshopper. Kahoot. Interesting, ma.
Okay, it's a Java programming language. Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Okay, we learn something every day. Great, thank you.
Great, ma. Fantastic.
All right, sorry, Mr. Najeemdeen, carry on.
All right, ma. So, as I was saying, we are still on importance of gamification. So, the next slide, ma. We see gamification as something that supports and motivates students and can lead to enhanced learning processes and outcomes, according to CAP 2012. So he said that gamification supports and motivates learning and can thus lead to enhanced learning processes and outcomes. According to LAM 2014, asserted that the utilization of gamification could turn learning into a more interesting activity and assist in improving students' level of attention and persistence, also as their attitude towards learning. You will all agree with me. Sorry, ma. You all agree with me that the type of education, if you don't gamify our education now, the type of education will acquired or that was imparted in us in some years back, I mean 30, 25 years ago. So you will discover that the kind of education to the young learners of today, to the present learners, are a kind of boring to these students. So it is high time we gamified many of our activities in classrooms in order not to get these young learners bored, because we cannot continue to be in those era what we were used to, what they used to teach us, we cannot afford to teach our young learners these days, because it's a kind it was a bit it was boring somehow, because rote memorization, it was characterized by so many activities, rote memorization, that are not actually making the real people. You know, we memorize of things all through, because through game or through games, through gamification, you can actually discover some talent in our young learners. So that's the essence of gamification, so to say. So gamification is an effective approach to make positive change in students' behavior and attitude towards learning, and to improve their motivation and engagement. We can see now. So yes, I believe we have got many things about gamification. So I want to it's good, many people have sent in the kind of games they use in schools. We can see Scrabble, we can see Kahoot, we can see so many games, both apps, physical games. You can see them; they are fantastic games. So we have so many other games like that. Like I've mentioned, we have Scrabble, we have Bingo, Sudoku. All these games are educational games that we can use in our classrooms. Apart from what they, what they are going to, what we normally see get in games, which is majorly entertainment or fun, we see a lot of educational impact that these games are offering. So, yes, like what I have here, that's the example I'm going to give here, according to as regards this lecture, we are going to talk more about Mekama educational games. Mekama educational games is a major case study for the sake of this presentation. So Mekama educational games are games that are new. They are indigenous games. They are a brand of 5 educational games in one. They are invented to aid learning processes. The games are board and card games for now, with written with, with clearly written and easy to understand rules and manuals. Like I told you before, when you see a game must have a well-defined set of rules. So likewise, Mekama games is not limited. It's not left out in this concept. So it has so many things that are characteristics of our games. Now, Mekama games, like I said earlier on, there are 5 games in one. The games that are in Mekama educational games are Mako, eMarco, Koga, Antor, and Marco Plus. All these games make the name. We can see M is from, M in Mekama is from Marco. E is Mekama is eMarco. We call it eMarco. C is Koga. A there is Antor, and we have MA to be Marco Plus. These are purely educational games. The next slide, we will see their features. They are indigenous games, that is their local games for now. We are making the games international very shortly because of the way we are moving out. It's going to be international. And we are bold to say that all these content are better off than any other games we can think about. For instance, Marco game, next slide, ma. Marco game is a mathematics game. Next slide, ma. It's a mathematics game for 2 players or 2 teams or 2 groups only. So we designed this game to achieve some mathematical objectives, which will help in the teaching and learning of other mathematical concepts. The objectives, that is the skill focuses in this game, are 1, inequalities concept. We have this objective to achieve in this game. When we play this game, we are going to achieve so many objectives. As you can see with me, I am showing the board. They are still physical form now. We are developing them into apps very shortly. So we can see the games that this is Marco. It looks like the normal Scrabble game. It's Marco educational game. In the park, we have so many items here. We have the racks. We have the racks in the game, in the park. We have the board itself. We have the card. They are board and card games. So all the Mekama games are board and card games. So we have them in the park as well. We have the scorecard. There's a pencil for us to record our card. So all these things are going to, our objectives we are going to derive from playing the game. Yes, this is the Marco board on our screen. So we have so many concepts to derive, and the playing time of this game is between 25 and 30 minutes. We are done with playing of this game. So this is eMarco. I'm talking of, yes, secondly. So let's go to the second game, man. This is okay like that, man. So the second game is eMarco educational game. So eMarco educational game is a word game for 2 players or 2 teams or 2 groups only. Also like our Marco. Marco is a pure mathematics game, while eMarco is a pure English language game. We have so many objectives to get from playing this game. We have vocabulary development to get here. We have word building, formation and formation concepts. We have spelling mastery, a lot of verbal restraint. Verbal reasoning skills are going to be derived here. Palindromes concepts, anagrams, and many other concepts are going to be derived from playing this game. So the playing time of this game is between 35 and 40 minutes, or max, we can say 1 hour for playing this game. So that is eMarco game for us. So the next one is Koga. Koga, apart from, Koga is another English language game. 2 players can play the game. Next slide, ma. Next, ma. Koga, until you reach Koga educational game. So we have so many objectives here to derive like our Imaco game. So it can two players can play this game, three can play, four can also play this game as well at the same time. So it is a blend of code and game together. So the playing time is between 50 minutes and 1 hour. A winner must emerge with this game when timed. So another game is Anto. The next slide, man. Another game is Anto educational game. So Anto educational game is a word game for two players or two teams only. It's also an English language game. We have a lot of objectives to derive from this game. So we have many things as you can see on the screen. So the playing time is between 35 and 45 minutes. The last but not least here, we have Marco Plus educational game. Next slide, ma. Marco Plus is a number game, it's a mathematics game and letter game at the same time for two players or two teams or two groups only. We have a lot of objectives to derive from playing this game. Then the playing time is between 25 and 30 minutes. So these are all Mekama educational games. The next slide now, we see the board on the next line. You know, I told you it's the board game, board and card game. We have the card, we have the board, we have the scorecard in the pack of each game. They are separate games, they are different games. So next slide, ma. We want to consider Mekama games as gamification tools. You can see the slides because of our time. I may not be able to be reading everything. I'm trying to summarize things. So Mekama games provide many effects. It has many effects in the classroom environment. First thing, they are fun to play. They create active participating learning. They provide immediate feedback. They promote applications to reach settings and rules. They are flexible to play. These are the major features of Mekama educational games. These are the major features of Mekama games. So we have other advantages of playing these games. They have clear rules and objectives. They develop like most games do. Mekama games develop critical thinking, problem solving, and imagination skills in our students, in our young learners. They offer new and dynamic form of teaching and practicing, which replace the traditional worksheet. They are easy to understand and use. So among many other advantages, so we can get all these things in our slides, in our PowerPoint presentation. So the next one is this. We will ask, or many people have asked, why Mekama educational games? Why not this game? Why not that game? As a teacher of some years of standing, and as a publisher, we decided to gamify English language or English studies and mathematics curriculum to we decided to gamify our English studies or English language and mathematics curriculums. In other words, we try to change English studies and mathematics curriculums to games. That's the essence. So another reason why Mekama games came to being is to spur, increase and sustain interest in mathematical calculations and improve English language understanding. The next reason is to cater for cognitive, psychomotor, and affective domains of learning of players. We to present mathematics and English language in rather fun ways, among other reasons. These are the major reasons why we designed Mekama educational games. Next slide, ma. How to use mechanical educational games effectively in our classrooms. So we are trying to put forward so many things that can that can that we can use to make the mechanical educational games effectively in our classrooms. The first thing is to integrate the games into our curriculum, into our timetable. For instance, games generally should be in our timetable. For teachers, it should be in our time. Unfortunately, the timetable is already loaded with theoretical with theoretical subjects. So we as teachers that are in this meeting today, we try to inculcate games into our curriculum, into our timetable. There must be time for games, especially educational games. There must be time. We can jettison a particular subject or some particular subject to games. When it comes to educational games, let's jettison some some subjects, particularly when they are theoretical in nature, to games. They will understand these subjects in other time. But games, when they play games on a daily basis, you will see the impact at the end of the day. Now, another thing we can do is to blend these games, I mean mechanical educational games, into English and mathematics teaching. We can use it maybe at the end of every subject. I mean, at the end of our maths class or English class, we can infuse mechanical games there. There is a way we can do it. We can infuse it in this mathematics, and especially mathematics and English studies, because the objectives are the same. We can start rotating. Maybe today we have mathematics, tomorrow we have mathematics at the same time, but it is this macro, for instance, that we are using in the classroom because it's a pure mathematics game. Let us see the impact. Let's for a complete term, which is about 4 months or 3 months thereabouts. We will see the impact at the end of the day. So English language at the same time. Let's alternate this. We can see maybe today, I believe on a daily basis we have English language. So let's say today, Monday, we have English language. Tomorrow we use games. Can use Imako. Imako is a very good English studies game. So we use English on Tuesday. Wednesday we play. We go to a normal curriculum. Thursday we play game. Friday we use. So we start alternating these games into our teaching. At the end of the day, we will see results. So we are gamifying. We are gamifying our teaching in this process. We gamify the teaching. We gamify learning at the same time. We don't want this teaching and learning to be boring. That's the essence of gamification. So another thing we can use to make mechanical games effectively is to include rewards or award system for players. For instance, game generally, it's all about competition. So for instance, like I said when I was presenting macro educational game or e-macro educational game, we see that macro and e-macro are designed for 2 players, 2 groups, 2 teams only. You can start when we have in a class, for instance, we have 15 or 16 students in a class or 10 students. Because of our time, we can divide them into 2 groups. Group A, Group B, maybe 5 year, 5 year. So in order to carry, we can have a team leader or a group leader among the players. So all these things, if Group A is the winner, imagine the winner, we can start giving them a kind of reward. Because fine, we will see that they are enjoying the game, they are making fun out of the game, they are entertaining themselves. But what our objectives as teachers, as educators, we are trying to achieve our objectives. Our objective is to make learning most effective, is to make learning interesting, and to achieve some set of learning objectives in this case. So we are achieving our aims, they are achieving their goals as well, they are achieving their objectives as well. At the same time, they are getting some reward system for playing or for imagine first. I mean, for imagine for coming up in flying colors in on these games. So have competitions among the games is part of what we are saying. So it can also be used as co-curricular activities. Many schools, is unfortunate, many schools don't have co-curricular activities. We are too much engaged in curricular activities. We should have co-curricular activities. Unfortunately, when we see the report card of, I mean, the present day, most schools now, I'm sorry, I have to put it there because I've seen so many report cards of students. We discovered that the aspect where we have, because basically we have the three domains of learning. We have the psychomotor, we have the cognitive and the affective domain. Unfortunately, our focus is majorly on cognitive. You see, most of their report card is majorly on cognitive, where we have the subjects only. Mathematics, what do we have? What do we get? 50 over 100. Basic science, we have this, we have that. We have physical and everything. The other aspects, the other domains of learning, we are not taking this into consideration. We don't take psychomotor, affective, and affective domains into consideration any longer. So all these things will be by using our games, by using the games, mechanical games, we start blending things together. We know we try, because it's a kind of social activity among the students. We see how they are reacting among themselves, especially when they are team playing. So we see them, we can discover so many things from these students. From these students, when they are playing this game, you see the students that are extroverts, that are introverts, that are not all that good. We see the social aspect of every student there. So another reason, another use of mechanical educational games is to be relevant, to make to have new skills and words and meanings to be asked from students. So another thing is that we can be asking, especially when we play the English language games, we can be asking, there's no way you will play the English language game that a student will play this game that they will not learn a new word or a new skill in the game. So that's the essence of playing the game. A game, if you play Marco, for instance, is an English language game, you are going to get, there's no way that player will not learn a new word from playing it. So in that case, we will learn the meaning of the new word. It will learn so many things about this word. So these are the areas I want to touch as regards the use of mechanical educational games effectively in the classroom. Before I wrap this lecture up, I want to quickly intensify the meaning of gamification by concluding this game because of our time. So I'm saying that gamification, we have not done much research on games or gamification, how games can actually be used in the teaching and learning scenario. So this is an opportunity for us to include gamification into our teaching and learning scenes, our learning or activities. It is very good. It has a lot of objectives. That is a lot of a lot of rewards, a lot of activities that will be used to develop other skills in these children. So on this note, I will wrap up this our 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 presentation because of our time. I thank all our listeners. I thank everybody for the attention. So
Okay, before you
thank
stop,
you very
sorry,
much,
I
ma'am.
had internet. I'm back. I had some internet connectivity problems. I'm sorry about that.
Ah,
Thank
so
you
sorry,
very
ma'am.
much, Mr. Najeemdeen. So we always tell teachers, we know that as teachers, we need to be creative, and this is a way of making our teaching creative, making it fun. We live in an age where children are playing on their phone. They play games on their phone. They play Xbox. They play PS5, PS4. There's so many. We are competing with the electronic games. How? One of my questions is that if I have a class of 30 children, how do I manage my students with a game that only involves 2 or 4 players? And then in some cases, some children might get upset if they are not winning. How do you deal with this kind of issues in class? In terms of classroom management, you have 30 children, only 4 children can play. Some children, if they lose, they will get really upset. How do we deal with these kind of issues? Those are my 2 questions.
All right, thank you very much. I think I've mentioned in my lecture, we can actually, in a class of 30, because of our time, because of the time, and because of the load on the timetable already. So what we can do when we are playing game, we can divide them into groups or teams by making them group leaders. What we just have to be careful, man, that when you are okay, maybe this week you play a game, you make A the team leader of a particular group, and Samson team leader of a particular group. So next week you start alternating them. You don't let them feel that they are the master of all, they are superior to others in the group. I think that's one of the things you can do. You can get them involved. Don't always be making them a group leader because of the time. A time for a particular lecture, I think, is about 50 or 45 minutes. And let's assume we want to use a class, a period of a lecture of a subject for that particular game. So that's one of the things you can do, ma. And another thing is that for the classroom management, you have to be on ground monitoring them, because actually they are this game, whenever they are, they hear the word games, they are already, these students are ready already. They are the attention, you've already won their attention, because no student, I would say, that doesn't, that there is no student whatsoever that doesn't like game. So it now depends on which kind of game they like, which kind of game. So we try to, because there are many games, as I've said in my, this is, there are war games, there are, but as far as their lecture is concerned, so they need educational games mostly. So you have to be watchful. See, in this, as you are watching, you discover many things from, in these children, the children that are social, that are psychological, you discover so many things in these children. I believe I've answered that, ma. So I believe with time we will get the classroom management will be okay, ma. Will be better off.
Okay, thank you. All right, if
Yeah,
people want
welcome.
to buy this your game and they are not in Ibadan, how can they get hold of these your games?
Yes, ma. We supply nationwide, ma. Especially in Nigeria, we supply nationwide, so we can way bill the games to anywhere in this part of the country. I mean Nigeria, and outside Nigeria. As I'm speaking, ma, these games are in the UK. But unfortunately, ma, we have two games ready. We have only Mako and Imako ready because of funds and some security issues. So, but very shortly, all the three games will be out. And another thing we are doing is we want to develop them into applications, phone applications, where
Exactly.
they can be accessible anywhere in the world. It will be
That
on
would be
our Play Store.
fantastic.
Exactly, but it's money. We have these financial challenges, but with God, we are going there by God's grace.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
inshallah. So maybe you
Inshallah.
can type your email address or your phone number into the chat so people can contact you if they want to purchase the game.
Okay. Can I do it right away?
Yes, why not?
Okay.
So
I'm
somebody is
typing.
already asking, Omawumi Adeyemi is saying, where are you in Ibadan?
Okay. Okay. I want.
How can we get the games, Aregbesola Olorunfemi, at the games online? So people are asking lots of questions. Okay, so he has typed his Gmail in the chat, maybe your WhatsApp number. So you can check for his WhatsApp number and his Gmail address in the chat. Okay, let me see if there are any more questions. Does the game take care of all the topics in English and mathematics? Does the game take care of all the topics in English and mathematics? That's a question in the chat.
Yes, I can see, ma. Basic mathematics objectives. You can quickly go to the slide, ma. Sorry, ma. We have
Okay, let me go.
game.
Okay, let me share your slide. Okay.
Okay.
So which one?
Yes. Number 15, slide 15. 15, ma.
I can't see
15.
any numbers, so I don't know.
Oh, sorry, ma. I go up a bit. Go up. Up, ma. Up. Up. All right, ma. No. Back more. Go down a bit, ma. No. Okay. Where we have macro educational game, I just want to point.
I want to go and check something.
Oh,
Okay,
after
unmute yourself.
Two more, ma. Two more. No, down, ma, down. Down, page down, page. No, you are paging up, down. Okay, yes, okay, ma. Okay, I know, exactly. That is macro educational game. We have, I said it's a mathematics game for two teams, two players, or two groups. So we have this concept, and we believe that these are the major concepts. These are the basic mathematical concepts in the subject. We have inequalities concept, balanced method of solving equations. We have quantitative reasoning skills. A lot of quantitative reasoning skills are in the game. We have prime numbers concepts are going to be derived from playing this game. Factors, common factors, and HCF concepts are going to be derived from playing this game. Multiples, common multiples, and LCM concept is derived from playing this game. Basic arithmetic operations are going to be derived from playing this game. So these are the basic mathematical concepts that we can learn from playing this game. So as regards English language, go to two more slides, ma. Two more slides. Okay, Imako. Imako. Okay, ma, it's okay, ma. Imako is a word game. This is English. This is the English game. So we have so many objectives to derive here. We have the vocabulary development. We have word building and formation concept. A lot of spelling mastery are going to be derived from playing the lot of verbal reductions. Palindromes concept, anagrams concept are derived from playing this game. So these are the foundation to which we could understand this subject clearly. To which the players will understand this subject clearly. So that's the essence, and that's the basic objectives. I believe the answer is clear, ma.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you
You are
very
welcome.
much.
You are
I
welcome.
think there are no other questions in the chat. Some Ajayi Abosede, is the game applicable to higher grades, SS? If yes, then
I'm replying.
for
Yes.
large classes of 75, I guess one can only share the class into groups and only few groups representatives will be able to play.
Yes. Actually, what we can do here is to divide them into groups. Yes, but group must not be too large. Maybe like 10 in a group, or max 15 in a group. So for them to, we can actually divide them into, okay, like 75 now. Let us say 75 into 2 now. We have 35 and 40. This 35, let's divide them into 2 again. So if this 35 finish playing, we can shift to the other 45 students. So I believe we are good to go in that direction. Instead of this, why not get as many games as possible? As many games as possible. Actually, sorry, ma, I want to chip in this. Hello, ma.
Yes.
Hey, can I go ahead?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I want to chip in this. I normally tell most schools that we have visited, we want, I mean, the schools can actually make money from the getting this game. When they get this game, they can start organizing internal competition. Maybe we call it intra competition among the students, where the interested students register for the game. So it's a source of passive income for the school as well. So for instance,
Why should somebody pay to take part in a competition?
Exactly. Those that pay only will be part of the competition. Only. It's going to be a timely thing where we only organize. It may not be for all now, though everybody is has got the basic of things there, but this is a competition. It's going to be a timely thing. So the timely, the time can be a week, can be like 2-3 days long in the school, where every student, I'm sure there is no student that will not be willing
Yeah, but why should they pay to play? Why should they pay to participate? Why should they pay to participate?
It depends on the school arrangement. It can
If
be
it's to help them learn, they don't need to if we are doing a competition, why should you charge people to do a competition?
No, it depends on the school, as the case may be. Some schools are charging it. It may not be shown in their fee. They are charging it as part of their school fee. So
I see.
some are saying it's not for all. The competition is not for everybody, like a registration fee. You know, if you don't pay for a particular thing, it may not be seen as something serious. But if you pay for it, in terms of registration now, it's not that you are actually paying for the competition. It's just I'm partaking in this. I want to register.
I don't see why you should pay for that.
Okay, it depends on the school arrangement. Some may decide not to get payment from students. It depends on the school arrangement. But some
Anyway,
schools
how
are doing
much
that.
if somebody wants to buy your game, how much is it?
Yes, a game is Marco. I told you 2 games are ready, ma. So we have Marco, which is 10,000 naira, and Marco game is 10,000 naira.
Okay, 10,000 naira. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, 10,000 naira each game. So they can get
Okay.
as many games as possible, and I can. We have instructions there. We have the textual instruction and we have the video instruction. Once you read the instructions, it is self-explanatory. You get all the necessary things in the game itself without me explaining how to play, how to do this or that. Everything is there. There is a video. There is a textual instructions there.
All right. Thank you. Okay.
Yes, the
I
game
think
is
that
not
answers all our
the
questions.
game is not online for now, ma. There is I can see Wona has a question. Are the games available online? It's not online, sir. It is still a physical copy. We are developing the applications presently. I mean, we want to develop that.
Okay. Thank you. All
You're
right.
welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're
That
welcome.
would be all for now. Unfortunately, my internet played up today, so the recording stopped. So I don't have the recording of everything, unfortunately. But thank you very much. Yes.
Okay, but we will see some, ma. We will get some.
Yeah. Until the point when I was thrown out. I
Oh,
don't know.
painful.
Yeah.
It's painful. All right,
Sorry
there's no
about that.
problem. There's no
Okay.
problem. I thank you very much, ma, for this
All right.
wonderful
Thank you for
opportunity.
coming. All right,
You're
then.
welcome, ma.
All
Yes,
right.
ma.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank
All
you
right.
very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. I
Bye.
appreciate all, ma. I
Okay,
appreciate.
then.
I'll be expecting your request, your order with regards to
Yes,
this
yes.
game.
You have written your WhatsApp number, your Gmail. Please contact him if you're in Ibadan. He's local to you. There's some people here who are from Ibadan, and he said he can always bill it to you wherever you are in Nigeria. Our people in Kenya, in Rwanda, I don't know, maybe he can send it to you. People in Ghana, maybe he can bill it to you. We have teachers from all over Africa with us. So, but they can contact you on WhatsApp and you can arrange.
Okay, ma. I'll be expecting their request order with regards to the game.
Okay.
Thank you very much, ma.
All
Yes,
right,
ma.
then. Thank
Bye,
you.
ma.
Bye.
I appreciate. Yes, ma. Yes,
Okay.
definitely. Yes.